So here I am in my basement, and it's been a pretty emotional day for me. It was a week ago right now that my son-in-law and I almost died in this basement. So all day today I've been kind of a mess, just thinking about like, what was I doing right now? Where was I right now? And so like right now, a week ago, is when I turned around, and my camera won't let me flip from one to the other, so I'm just going to kind of show you my son-in-law. I found him like right here on the ground, laying down. I had my back to him working, sucking up water with the shop vac, and went screaming up the stairs for help. Luckily, my son and daughter-in-law were home, and they called 911, and then I was sitting right here on the floor with Marco, right here. He was right here. I was sitting next to him. Down the stairs, right here, came all these like 5 big paramedics. It was a little bit overwhelming, and I was sitting next to Marco, so they were going to check him out. So they took my hand to help me up so I could get out of their way. And as they took my hand, I passed out too. So then they picked us up and they hauled us right up these stairs. I was at that point glad there was 5 of them. They held us right out these stairs, out this door. I don't really remember any of this. And out this door, outside, onto the driveway. So a week ago right now, we were probably on the driveway at this point. I was right here. I remember I kind of kept wanting to lay down. The paramedic wouldn't let me lay down. He kept me sitting up so he could try and keep me conscious, and my son-in-law was like right here. I remember looking over and he was slumped against the leg of another paramedic. There was 2 ambulances here, and it had been caused, if you don't know, it had been caused by, we'd been cutting cement in our basement floor with a gas-powered cement cutter, and he had a respirator on, I had a mask on, and we had windows open, and we were doing all of that to control the cement dust because it was really dusty even with water down there. We had no idea that it was caused by the gas-powered cement cutter and that it was putting off carbon monoxide, and we had no idea until it was practically too late. And wow, what a close call. And at first we just thought that we needed to like just get some fresh air. We had no idea how serious the condition was. The doctor later told my son-in-law that had he been in the basement 10 more minutes, he would have died. So we were really, really close. And he'd sent me to the store to buy this fuel for the cement cutter. And when we got home from the hospital late that night, then we had to go back the next morning super early and be in the hyperbaric chambers all day. So that night that it happened, and then in the hyperbaric chambers all the next day, tons of testing before and after to see where we were at mentally and physically. And then when we got home that second night, there was a news crew that showed up shortly after to tell our story and to emphasize to be careful on these home projects, not to use gas-powered tools indoors. We've since heard of lots of contractors who have had similar, not as serious problems, and a couple who died from carbon monoxide poisoning. And they're in the construction industry, so wow, just don't use gas-powered anything indoors. But when the news crew first got here, I hadn't been back down in the basement really, and so when I walked down the stairs, what my mind immediately went to was my son-in-law's body laying on the floor unconscious. That was really hard. It was really hard to be down here. And then my daughter said to me later, she's like, wow, some bad things have happened in our basement. And I thought, that's not true. That's not true. He didn't die down here, and I didn't die down here. Like, we went up those stairs We were rescued. We got carried up those stairs and we lived. And why did we get to live when you hear these stories on the news of other people who have things happen and they didn't make it out alive? And we did. And if everything hadn't fallen into place exactly as it did, we wouldn't be alive. If my son and daughter-in-law hadn't been home, if I had collapsed before I'd call 911, there's just so many easily tweaking little tiny parts of that story, and neither one of us would have made it out alive. So I changed the story in my head so that now when I look down these stairs, I do not envision my son-in-law's body laying there unconscious. What I envision is those big, awesome paramedics hauling the two of us up those stairs to life, to freedom, and to be able to live another day. I'm so grateful to be here today. So grateful to be alive. So grateful not to be one of those statistics and not be breaking my family's heart by being dead right now. And I am so grateful to have another second chance at life. You just never know. In my 52 years, I've never had a close call, and this has been a huge wake-up call. It is for me. Please learn from my experience and let it be for you as well.